This is from the Vanguard today. The president says that our debt level is still within sustainable limits. This is when he presents the 2022 budget estimate of 16.39 trillion naira to the National Assembly. He also adds that the deficit will be financed by the new borrowings. So we're borrowing to repay some loans. And he also notes that the new finance bill 2022 is underway. So
yeah, I mean, I try and avoid economic stories because apart from the fact that I'm not an economist, some things don't just add up to me. I don't think you need to be an economist sometimes to be able to look at things and say they don't add up. The president says that our debt level. Also, sorry, before I get to that, I don't get excited anymore about budgets because they end up being a political statement. A budget is always a we shall document. In democracy, you are hoping that when things like this are presented to the National Assembly, it does a lot of back and forth and cleaning and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry that this current National Assembly is more or less like a parastatal of the government. So there's nothing exciting. There's nothing to excite you that it has been presented to the budget. It's going to be what we call business as usual. So over time, I remember 87, 88, when I was corporate affairs manager at Lever Brothers. Look, you dare not face your chief executive and say you don't have an advanced copy of the budget way back then. And yes, you know, I remember, God bless you, he was in UAC. The thing was you get the budget because you knew. You see, that footballer did well in a number of areas, but it was a bit of mix of good and bad. But you would see a document that would at least give you something to discuss about. These days, I don't understand because when our president says that our debt level is still within sustainable limits, the whole idea here is that, okay, you're borrowing money for infrastructural development. That is a valid reason.
Yeah.
Nobody can fault that. But the questions you ask therein is, at what cost are these infrastructural projects being put together with the stories that we get on a daily basis? Is Nigeria getting full value? The next question you ask yourself is, okay, so fine, you've borrowed for infrastructural development. Do you have the means to pay back? What do you have ahead of you?
Yeah.
When you have a central bank governor who points at a private company to say they are responsible for the exchange rates in the black market, you go, it's there recorded on tape. You say if they want to fight, I'm ready, come and fight. I couldn't believe that when I saw it, but it's there. And okay, so now the company no longer publishes the black market rates, and yet the black market rates are going up
higher
on a daily basis. From last week, from 760 almost now to about 790, and you don't see anything concrete. Then it raises a lot of concern. I don't think you have to be an economist to know that
something's not right.
Something's not right. The prices are going up 2-3-fold. Those are the issues. The issues that concern the average Nigerian is that their day-to-day issues. The cost of living, his income. Incomes are going down, expenses are going up.
Yeah, and we're borrowing some more.
And we keep borrowing. So you keep asking yourself, where is the ability to pay? Okay, where is the ability to pay? So the president presented his budget to the National Assembly yesterday. If you want to read the details, they are all right there, in black and white in our various newspapers. But I need to tell Mr. President that I'm not sure. There must be something that I don't know. I'm not sure if our debt level is within sustainable limits.
Well, I'm sure that we will have a lot of economists giving reactions to this, to what the president has said. I mean, it's a huge debt burden. Sustainable? I'm not sure. Let's see this one. This is getting people really riled up. The supposed state of emergency that might be declared in Anambra. The Vanguard has this headline today: Buhari disowned Malami on emergency. This is according to the Anambra governor. Where they had that conversation, I think you might give us the details.
So
Did he speak with the president?
We have two different, not different really, because it wasn't the president that said he was contemplating a state of emergency. It was his attorney general. And the Attorney General has been made a lot of controversial statements in the past and taken some controversial action, so we don't know which to go by. But at least the Anambra governor, has said that the president told him that they were not contemplating any state of emergency. So I think we should let that one die. Those are people who tell you that no, you should keep putting up the heat. But what I do know is that we need to work out something by which, we aid some of the governors in that region. They have lost control.
The governors?
Yes, they have lost. Any minute from now, if care is not taken, any of those state government houses can be overrun by these guys.
Yeah. Well, my friends, I don't think the governors are that bothered about it. I don't see them.
They are. It's called bravado. They should be.
That kind of bravado.
No, they should be, because it's quite clear. It's quite clear that a lot of them have lost control.
But they speak so boldly, like they don't care about it.
From the reports that you can see if you dissect the various reports that you can see, both from the newspapers and the social media, I mean, you are a governor of a state, and an organization tells its people to stay at home. You can't do anything about it.
Not its people, everybody in the states.
Yes.
Not just people who believe in their cause. Everyone shuts down the whole
They
state.
keep doing it week after week, and the people obey these people. And you can't do anything about it.
Unless the governors also like the idea.
Of course not, they wouldn't like the idea. Because it's shooting themselves in the foot. I believe that in making a political statement, you also have to look at the ripple effect. The people that suffer most from all these actions, really, are the same people in the East.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not saying that. Whether I support IPOBs, whatever or not, has no bearing at all, because they can do with or without my support. That's not the issue. But the issue is that the actions they are taking in this regard is bringing suffering to the people. And the governors somehow don't have the wherewithal to change the narrative. So it's quite clear to me that they have lost a lot of control and respect until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
So the question is, are we going to sit down day after day waiting for the inevitable to happen?
Well, I think we'll find clearance as we move closer to the Anambra elections, governorship elections. No, something would move.
The problem in Anambra is a bit distinct from the others in the sense that it has a political undertone.
Yeah. And
it is within that undertone that people rightly said they wouldn't want a state of emergency. You have an election, like Obiano said, you have an election coming up. It has a lot of political undertone, and the state of emergency would mess things up. But surely you must have a balance to keep security.
Yeah, so that people can come out to vote safely.
Yes.
Okay, let's see this.
And sorry, 1 second. Okay. To the Anambra people, I think you should go out there and vote, because look, if only 2 people vote, that's the result. I'm just being ridiculous with numbers, but if you don't go out there and whoever wins, wins.
That's it. And you have to stay with that for another 4 years.
Boycotts have not produced. You can boycott elections in a nation where majority of the leaders have a conscience. And Nigerian leaders, most of them don't have that. They couldn't be bothered. In fact, they'll be happy.
Because you've given them ample
Do you know what
blank,
they will do? Do you know what they will do? Watch out for, if there's going to be a boycott, give yourself, watch out for the numbers that you feel are going to, and then see what the numbers will be at the end of the day. They'll be more than happy for you to stay home.
Because then you give them blank voter cards to do whatever with.
Yes.
Okay, tanker drivers are starting strike this weekend. They're going on strike because of bad roads and others. This is big, right?
Now,
that means we might have petrol scarcity.
Tanker drivers where? Let me read that. It says that there are some indications that the tanker drivers, the petroleum tanker drivers, PTD branch of Nopeng, may begin a nationwide strike over the deplorable conditions of federal roads across the country. They will bargain. It's not going to happen. Within 2 days. No. For starters, they are not going to repair the roads overnight. So they'll quickly. You see, that is why I said that the doctors, rather than put us in a situation where lives are being lost, should have gotten Nupeng to strike on their behalf.
Yeah, but if Nupeng strikes on their behalf, there's no petrol, and then
you have to answer the doctors. I think that it was done sometime way back in the 60s or so when the railway workers in the UK went on strike on behalf of the doctors, something close to that. Because doctors really and truly, if you've taken the Hippocratic oath and you want to stick to it, you shouldn't be going on strike and watching people die. But let's go into the politics of that. In this case, within the next 2 days, something will happen. So I don't think you should panic. No government in Nigeria can take 3 days of a NUPENG strike.
So I'm wondering why NUPENG didn't step in. I mean, for the doctors' strike. I mean, the doctors. I interviewed a lot of them. They kept saying no one is showing us solidarity. They need to be paid.
You see, part of the problem is that a lot of our labor unions and whatever, you need to put on your thinking cap. And if you want to lead a labor organization, you need to be open-minded and have your contacts here and there.
Yeah. Make networks.
You need to make networks. If I'm the head, if for example I was heading the Union of Doctors in Lagos State, MC would be my best friend.
Yeah.
I said, well, MC, I'm your Makuo.
Yeah.
Your members too, and so on and so forth. Once they go on strike, the bosses go on strike.
Everyone feels it.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you put on shirt and tie and think that
I agree.
Labor is a roughneck business, and it calls for high intelligence.
I agree.
It's not just putting on bow tie and whatever
and
go to the newspaper doing a luta. No. It was just this morning. I can't remember who I was talking to. Very early this morning. I remember. I don't want to mention the person.
I know. And
I was saying,
you don't remember, okay?
And I was saying that. I was saying that. Unfortunately, our people are more emotional than tactical. We tend to react. We are not proactive. Proactiveness is not part of our culture. We tend to react. You need to do some very deep If I was going to lead the doctors, I'm telling you, I won't shut down any hospital. No. I know.
Now you've given them Orijo. I hope they pick something.
We've been involved in these things before.
There's a second story here on this same page. Son of ex-pension boss Faisal Maina bags 14 years jail term over money laundering. The son of is this pension matter that's even I know it's bad to launder money generally, but the very fact that it's people sweat over the years and they're dying and they can't get this money and you sit on it.
Yes,
it goes to jail and then what?
That is 1 and 2. The number 3 factor in all this that frightens me is that with what is rest left of my life, I pray to God and never have any reason to stand in front of a judge to face a criminal charge with any of my children. It's un-African.
Yeah.
The good Africans that we know, check history, something would have happened overnight and they'll be crying in the neighborhood in the morning. Because this poor boy is a poor boy. He's only 22.
Is a poor boy?
Why
is he a poor boy?
No, when I say this poor boy, I'm not saying in terms of
I know. I mean, like, why is he the poor one? He's not the victim here.
This poor boy, let's face it, this is... Sometimes we open accounts in the names of our children. That's why I say this poor boy, because I am convinced, seriously convinced, that this is dad's money.
But he knew about it. And he's an adult. He's 22.
We don't even know if he knew about it.
Moi, I would rather believe that he knew about it. 22 years old?
No, listen. Listen. There were cases, for example, of people who opened accounts in the names of their household. Don't forget, this is not the era of BVN. Many people have opened accounts for their children, hoping that at some point you will now, I need to give this guy a chance, because the problem is he didn't appear in court.
He didn't show up in court.
He's escaped.
So he bags it in absentia.
He bags it in absentia. But it's a bad case. It's a bad case. And it is possible. I would still give him that allowance to say that, look, his father could have opened an account, accounts in both his mom's, his sisters, his father, and so on and so forth. It's possible. Very, very possible. And very likely. A lot of our political leaders do it. Oh, yes. You know that this country during the time of MPN of old. Anyway, this poor guy, this poor guy now is he has been found guilty, and he's supposed to spend 24 years, to spend 14 years in jail, because the other sentences are going to run concurrently.
So when does the term begin to count? When he shows up?
The judge, yes, I think as he shows up.
Anytime they find him is...
When he does show up, first of all, he's going to face trial for jumping.
Yeah.
jumping bail. And then, so if the judge wants to be very whatever with him, when they sentence him for jumping, they won't make it wrong concurrently.
I'm sure they'll make it
consecutively.
So my question here is that, so after he goes to jail, and then what? Are all the monies recovered? Are they returned?
No, let me tell you. Okay, you're asking me. Let me tell you. The monies, the company that was used to register whatever, so the account has been closed. It's going to be wound up, and all the funds will be forfeited to the government. He won't live with the money. Okay. But you see, how many of these accounts in other areas do we have?
That's it. It's worrisome.
It's sad. What bothers me the most is, and I like to be fair, this young chap, 22, even if let us even assume that he knows, for him to have been misled by the dad is quite unfortunate.
Misled, okay.
He's not misled.
I don't believe so. I believe more Lego. I have 3 boys. You see, I believe at his age, at 22.
I have just one boy. So. And I wouldn't do that.
But it's the truth. I mean, if you're an adult, you have decision-making faculty. So you decided. I believe he knew what's up. I can't excuse him.
No, I'm not excusing him. I mean, but why I won't even excuse him is that if he was done without his knowledge, he had the opportunity to come to court and state it.
And we have smart investigators that would find out that he really didn't know about it. If he
insists. Once his signature is not there.
Right.
Yes.
If they forge his signature, he can insist that they show him the CCTV proof that he came to the bank to sign any document. I mean, there are ways around this thing. But
you know the use of today. Who in Papa
Aruba.
Who in Papa go say, I go for this account, make I put some billions inside.
Hey. Things that happen for this country. Okay, now let's go on to the Guardian newspaper. Court orders Navy not to release Disu Kanu's body for burial.
I didn't know that with all these encomiums that we were sharing on the gentleman, I thought he was going to be buried anytime from now.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a court case. I think what happened, I think he has 2 families, he has a second wife, which I suspect he married consecutively, after maybe divorcing and so on and so forth. And so his body, so some of them, I don't want to go into the real details. I just want to appeal to the elders of the Kanu family. Sanwo-Olu should quickly get involved. Let us resolve this thing and give the man a befitting burial that let's take it out of court. Let's take it out of. I'm surprised it got to this level.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Don't you have elders in the land? Disu Kanu.
And sometimes, I'm remembering now. I've had close people that have seen this thing happen to, and at the end of the day, what happens is everyone wants to just honor this dead person.
Yes.
And after that, you can come back and quarrel if you want, but at least
I don't know.
Get his name off the paper.
With regard, I'm not talking about the court case. I'm just talking about the fact that it ever got to court in the very first instance. Where was the chief of naval staff when this was going on? Where was the governor when this was going on? Where are the elders of the Disu Kanu family? The Okpadokuns, all of them. Chief Agbe, all the old Nadeko colleagues should mount some pressure and have a win-win situation. Is it not just to have a church service and bury this man?
Yeah, please.
It's sad. All along, this one caught me completely off guard this morning because I thought we were all set to go to give him the honor that he deserves. Now it's been tainted. It is sad. Kanu doesn't deserve this. But again, this is another reason why if you find yourself as a man now in a situation like this, have a rock solid will that will be read the moment you die.
Don't complicate things.
That will state how you want to be buried.
Yeah.
Rock solid. If you can put video.
Yeah.
Yes, have all locked down. At least for that passage.
Yeah.
Even
for the aftermath. Sad. I mean, for the other things, with this happening, I think they might have a lot more to contest beyond even the burial. So if there was a will, please.
But really and truly, please, Excellency, this morning, put a phone call through to the family and call a meeting with the Chief of Naval Staff being represented and resolve this issue very quickly. Disu Kanu doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve this. It's sad. It's very, very sad. It's all, like I said, it's good for once you find yourself in a situation like this. It's always good for you to tidy up your affairs. I know a famous doctor now whose estate is in, is in that they're in court and so on and so forth. These things needn't to be.
Once you know that you begin to have two families, anything that could cause, and I mean, even without anything that, even if nothing could happen, have a will. If you have anything.
Well, yes, he probably has a will, but people don't understand. Sometimes you might need to tie in how you want to be buried, specifically, so there's no controversy. You need to state certain things.
Yeah.
Clearly, if you have a smaller unit, you can state it verbally. When I die, I want to be buried within 4 days. This is where I want to be buried.
Go and walk all the time like that.
I can walk all the time, but I mean, at least try.
As close to
but
your wish
in a
as
controversial situation like this, and really and truly, I'm sorry to say, these people I mentioned should have had the need. They probably didn't know though to step in.
Pardon me. I saw something here that caught me up. It's a joke here. You
want
me to read it?
No,
Let's take our final story because of time, shall we?
Okay, yeah.
So this is from the Vanguard newspaper. 2023, Sanwo-Olu backs Tinubu's presidential bid, flags off Swagger Group in Lagos. These guys almost got me angry yesterday. They were on the road on that Ikorodu Expressway. I was like, get off the road, because they were on this.
That is this Swagger Group.
This Swagger people. What's this Swagger thing?
That's a sign of things to come.
Oh,
that's
Swagger.
Swagger.
Is it a political group?
It's a political group, and in fact, in the newspapers, they have some uniform, and the government is deputy.
Uniform.
But I'm not surprised that they will support. Who else will they support anyway? So it also means that what the implication of this, that I just wanted to bring out, is that the Tinubu aspiration is good to go. That means they're all set. What is left is for the man to make what I will call a formal, declaration. And I think it's good. I think it's good for the polity. It will ginger up other people. I think it's good. It's within his rights. And those who support him is within their rights to do so. And it's also within the rights of nationals in Nigeria across the country to decide who they want to rule them, or who they want to govern them.
So that's why there's an election.
In 2020. That's why there's an election.
Yeah.
I think it would be unfair for me to make my remarks further than that. Now, let's see what other candidates are coming.
I think that we're still going to have some surprises. That's what I personally think.
Definitely. I was going to have Angela Adewuni be here tomorrow, but unfortunately, there's some renovation going on here. So we'll have to shift it to next week. That's where it would have been a takeoff point. Who are the various actors that might come out of the woodwork.
Okay, let me take some comments from YouTube. There's so many people here. Let's acknowledge them. Okay, Olawale Aziz, hi. Sam Obishason says he may not know anything about it, referring to the Maina issue. Daniel Wills transacted close to R1 billion through his parents' account. The guy escaped, but both the parents are cooling off at EFCC prison.
Who's that?
He mentioned someone who transacted wrote some money through his parents' account. He escaped and his parents are in prison.
No, I know that people opened accounts for their children, not necessarily for nefarious activities. But you for example, you could...
Yeah, but you can do that for minors, not for grown-ups. That's for minors.
Yeah, you can do that for minors, not for grown-ups. Yes, but I don't know.
Mega Bro says...
I just want to give... Sorry.
It's okay.
I just want to give the guy a bit of breathing space that he could jolly well... You know the way it is. Father, hey, Joe, come, sign here for me. What did It happens. It happens.
Okay.
But let's have a debate at 9, okay?
Yeah, I think it will be a sweet one.
Yeah, let me hear what you have to say when I come back at 9 o'clock.
That's right. Thanks for being in here. As you heard it, he's back at 9. Daily Digest, so make sure to join at that time. Okay, when we go out on this break, we come back, you have the news, and then it's hot takes, a review of the biggest stories from the past week. Remember that we're having a treasure hunt. Hey, I'm going to tell you at what time. So if you don't have the Nigeria Info app, you're in a long thing. So go on to your Play Store now, download the Nigeria Info app. It's the app that has NI.
Am I allowed to play?
No. Even if you play and you win, you know what is going to happen. So don't bother.
What will happen?
You won't get the money.
I'm actually buying now.
That's saying already. There's a rule. Even I can't play. So
I can play.
If I cannot play, why can you play?
Okay, I want to take a break, then I can play.
So get the app. We're playing the treasure hunt. I'll tell you at what time the treasure will be live. But have the app ready to go. Thanks for joining the show. We're back in a moment.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.